What up, traders? It's Wulfmaster Tay up in this mud. Welcome to day 23 of Project Nightlords. We got a week to go until this entire project is all wrapped up, and I'm so excited. Why am I showing you Igor? Well, this is why I haven't gotten much work done. Because during my Project Nightlords time today, I decided to finish filming part 3 of how to paint an Igor. And when I say Igor, I mean Igor. Look at that gore. Eesh. It's my kitty petting stick, master. I use it to pet all the neighborhood cats. I'm sure you do, Igor. I'm sure you do. Anyways, let's get that out of the way. You can see how he ends up by watching the How to Paint an Igor tutorial, part 3. What else have I been doing? Nightlords wise, let me show you the progress I've made since yesterday. I went out and primed these guys. Thank you for all the awesome feedback for them. I've gotten some great suggestions on how to do a second and a third obliterator, those including getting a tech marine, or I guess like whatever the equivalent of a tech marine would be for a Chaos Space Marine force, and a bunch of servitors. And there's some other suggestions that were emailed to me, so those are really great. And I gotta say that, you know, with the 6th edition rule set coming out, the rules being put up on advanced order, oh boy, I don't know, is there gonna be, it looks like there's gonna be a lot of game-changing stuff with the psychic phase. I might need to proxy up accounts as a sorcerer or something. Anyways, elsewhere on the Nightlords front, I was able to paint this guy up all the way up to the washes, and I decided to give him the red glove. And I've decided that my fluff with these guys is that they are all convicted murderers, and on Nostromo, I guess I don't know how they convicted them. Were they convicted? Well, anyways, when you were branded as a murderer, and through whatever legal process there was, you would have your hand tattooed red, so that people would know just by looking at you that you were a murderer. So I think that funny fluffy thing would be that when these guys were being inducted into the Legion, when they were forming the Space Marine Legions back before the Heresy at the very beginning, or in knee-deep in the Great Crusade, as it were, fluff-wise, they decided that the best people, the best Marines that they could get to be in this assault squad, these Raptor squads, were guys that had murdered before. So it's pretty fluffy, but it's pretty grim and it's pretty gruesome. And it might not be, that's what I meant to say, it might not be for everybody, the fluff behind the red gauntlets, the fact that they are cold-blooded, stone-cold killers already, and that their punishment is that they were actually rewarded by getting a jump pack and being sent to jump into the enemy. Because for those of you who played Space Marine, the video game, oh boy, it takes guts, and it takes precision, and it takes just a very keen amount of bloodthirsty, gung-ho, intestinal fortitude to make one of these jumps and fly across the air and land somewhere and like either chainsaw or melt somebody in the back of the face, in the back of the head, or in their face. So those are the only 2 guys I was able to get done. With the other 3, I'm kind of started. I got through all the blacks and was gonna get onto the silver before I just got kind of distracted and just got bored. I got distracted with this guy because I decided I'm gonna paint up a tutorial for him on how to paint his lightning claws using the new paint range. My old how to paint a lightning claw for Space Marines and Terminators and whatnot, the video that I followed, Katatafish, is the guy who taught it to me. His tutorial taught it to me how to do these lightning claws, and they're with all the old paint range. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna give it a go, try to do a tutorial on how to do lightning claws with the new paints and the new paint range, and see how people like it. So stay tuned for that. I just started filming it. I did phase 1 and phase 2, the first couple of steps by hand painting which is pretty cool because from here it looks like that I might have used an airbrush, but it's really hand painted. I hand painted on the first color and then the shade, and I was letting it dry, so now I'm gonna get on with the next couple steps. But yeah, the other guys are just in their basic blue and blacks. I still gotta do the silver and the golds and then the washes, but yeah, it's just taking a little bit more time than usual. I was so hyped up yesterday after doing these two guys. And I forgot to mention in the Obliterator video, the reason why I'm using 2 Space Marines instead of 1 figure is because in the Chaos Codex, Obliterators are 2 wounds. So each of these guys have 1 wound each, so their combined is 2 wounds. The invulnerable save is represented by the fact that they might still be shielded a little bit by the cloaking device. And yeah, so I'm trying to work like fluff stuff in, and also the reason why I'm using 2 guys and not just like 1 single Obliterator or kit bashing up an Obliterator with crazy mutations and guns like popping out of every joint is because I don't know if I mentioned this before, but the Night Lords are their gene seed has remained pure no matter what crazy fluctuations of the warp or how much they travel through the warp or use the warp for their travel. The warp being like, you know, the source of, or like the outlet of all the demonic, crazy, chaotic energy spilling into the universe. And for some reason, they are able to travel through it and emerge unscathed physically without mutations. Like their arms don't turn into tentacles and they don't grow like, you know, beaks and stuff like that, like other mutated Marines who travel through the warp, like the Word Bearers, the Red Corsairs. A lot of those guys end up with mutations, and the Night Lords don't. So I thought that was pretty cool, that they're totally twisted and evil and crazy, sadistic killers on the inside because of the world that they were raised on, but their gene seed, for some crazy reason, allows them to travel through the warp without negative effects. And I think that's just funny. That's hilarious. Like that the Chaos Gods look at these guys and are like, yeah, you know, we could give them like 20 eyeballs on their head or make them, you know, start to mutate into like beasts and give them goat legs and stuff. But I think it's pretty funny that we keep them looking like as pure and uncorrupted as a loyalist Space Marine Legion. So there's that. What else have I been doing? I'm about to film my How to Paint a Slaanesh Warrior of Chaos, for those of you who are waiting for that one. That's about to come up. I'm just putting the last touches on my test model here. And I'm also going to be doing a tutorial for more of these guys. Or should I call it a tutorial? Womp womp. And one of these, a Crystal Blade tutorial. Now, some people have been asking me to do the crystal effect on my the one that I use on my Savage Orcs, and I've been trying to recreate it like with these guys, the crystal blade effect, but I just haven't figured out how to do it with the new paint range. It comes out looking just kind of really meh. So I'm really trying to figure out how to do it well and effectively and in the least amount of steps, and I think I've got it. Like if you can see this crystal blade here, I think I've got it. So I've got my paints, and I'm gonna work it a little bit more, and then I'll do the tutorial on using this sword as an example. And people who could use this technique are like Grey Knights for their falchions, or however you pronounce that. Definitely Eldar players, and I think High Elves, maybe, or yeah, some other. I'm pretty sure some other race out there uses this crystal blade effect, but definitely the Grey Knights and the Eldar. So that's it. I've got a bunch of projects lined up this weekend. I do want to finish before tomorrow, though, getting the rest of the squad painted up. The Assault squad, and I'm trying to think of names for all my squads. Like the squad that I'm going to do next is going to be the Terror Squad. This squad, I'm thinking of having a name that has to do with the Blood Red Gauntlets, but still trying to figure out a name, think of a name for them. Yeah, but that's really all I've got on my plate today. So let's get on to some shout-outs. First thing is, let's go with Projectonegaming. Oh, really awesome, inspirational pre-heresy world eaters force. And the video I'm going to link to is the video he started with, and he shows off some fantastic conversions. The models that he uses are mostly Khorne Berserkers, and he paints them in pre-heresy colors, the blue and the white, and just amazing, amazing. And unfortunately, the project gets put on hold so he can really bulk it out with some Forge World stuff and make it very, you know, authentic to give it that pre-heresy feel. But the video he does, he puts together like a mixture of slides from the Collected Visions book, which is a whole bunch of 40k artwork about the pre-heresy, the Great Crusade, and just a look at a spin around of his models as they go on this like display table and spin around and around. So just really, really cool stuff, and I can't wait till his project gets put back on, that one gets put back on. But in the meantime, he's got a bunch of other army projects on the table, like Scryer's Dark Wolves, that look just as awesome, fluffy, and much more interesting than your standard black and gold Black Legion color scheme. I hate the Black Legion color scheme. It's just, it looks lazy to me. So definitely check this guy out. His name is D, and he his actual YouTube name is Projectonegaming. He's got his own store, commission paint scheme, and so if you like what you see, his videos have links to the YouTube and Facebook and to their online store. Really great looking stuff. Like I said, really inspirational, and we are talking about doing a kind of a collaboration like I'm doing with Simply Painted Miniatures after June. So keep your eye out for that. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That is coming down the pike. So look out for that. Alright, a couple more shout outs. I want to do KDilly1. This guy's got a full-time job, he's going to school and a family, and he sounds like a long beard. He doesn't show his face in the video, but he's got that, you know, that veteran wargamer tone of voice where he's kind of seen it all, you know, and that's really cool because he's painting up a squad of the glory boys of GW, the Ultramarines, and it's funny how he talks about how there's, you know, he's finally getting around to painting them, and he's gonna put away his you know, unnatural hate for them and stuff, and it's pretty funny how his results actually turn out really, really nice. He does. He talks about using Cantor Blue as a base coat, which is what I use for my boys here, the Night Lords, and then he builds up the color with the old Ultramarines blue from the old paint range, and it looks really nice. And then he shows off a really well-painted Scryer's Dark Wolves, another Scryer's Dark Wolves, so that's really cool, using Space Wolves and Chaos pieces, and it looks really good. It's a smart way to save money, you know, not buying two armies, because you can use one that counts as either. And that's why a lot of people run pre-heresy forces, so that they can use them either as with the Chaos Codex or with the Space Marines Codex, which I think is fantastic. You know, save money, be creative, have an army that people around you probably won't have. You might be the only one in your store that has, you know, a pre-heresy Luna Wolves or pre-heresy Death Guard and stuff, and I just think that's awesome. So kudos to you, KDilly1. And finally, gotta do a shout out here to Wulfenar, or I guess in the Fatherland you would pronounce it Wulfenar, and he's doing he's got exquisite Iron Hands Master of the Forge conversion. It's got a rebreather, serval arms, the works, and Pedro Cantor rules wise that he's painted up in Iron Hands colors. And you know, it's kind of weird to try and wrap your head around it, but go to his videos, check it out, and you'll see that it makes sense. It's very cool. He's a really awesome hobbyist. He doesn't have too many videos yet, so let's go over to his channel and support him. And then in his later video, which you can see if you click on you know, on his channel and subscribe to him, has a whole tactical force that he's totally pimped out with kit bashing conversions, things from different ranges like servo legs and arms and gears and cogs, and he freehands all the cogs and Iron Hand symbols, and it's really impressive stuff. So Iron Hands fans, go ahead and check it out. I kind of like the Iron Hands as a loyalist faction, because to me they are like the most alien of the loyalist Space Marines. They've got that mindset that the only way to achieve perfection is to get rid of the infirmities of the flesh, and that's why they chop off pieces of their body and replace them with bionic parts, and they're like trying to achieve that perfect harmony of machine and man, which I guess to them seems to be like 95% machine and 5% man. And I think that's pretty cool. That's very grim and dark and totally alien. So I was thinking if I was to do a Loyalist Legion, it might just be an Iron Hands Legion, or a Space Marine chapter. The only thing I don't like about the Iron Hands though is that predominant black color scheme. I find that like kind of boring. I mean, I know it takes so long to get these base coats on and stuff, but I feel like that's part of the fun, that challenge of doing all that instead of just painting spraying a bunch of guys with black primer and then picking out some details in metal. I don't know, that's just me though. So thanks for watching, everybody. Head over to Simply Painted Miniatures. Totally forgot to plug them yesterday because I was going on my rant bull. And throughout the month of June, which is only a week left, you can commission a Raptor squad from them for 10% off their normal price, what they would normally charge. And hey, 6th edition coming out pretty soon, so you want to get those orders in for any commission service that you're going to. Projectonegaming, Simply Painted, Blue Table Painting. Let's start getting those orders in, or not, or build it from scratch like me. Watch an army project like this one and do it yourself. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for following my videos. I've got a whole ton of content, like I said, that I want to release by the end of the weekend, and I really enjoy all of your comments, and I'm sorry I haven't responded to all of them. Really enjoy reading them though, and all the video responses that I'm following with and slowly trying to catch up on. You guys are great. This community is awesome, and I love you all. So, see you tomorrow.